When you innovate, you're going to make mistakes. The key is to recognize them quickly and keep improving. Elon Musk didn't just say that, he lived it. And the very mistakes that nearly drowned him became the launching pads for the breakthroughs no one dared to believe in. Welcome to Soulful Library, a place where we preserve the raw, emotional, and transformative stories of those who changed the world by constantly struggling and evolving. From within, if there's a topic you want to hear about, or a public figure you'd like us to explore through an inspiring and dramatic lens, don't forget to leave a comment below this video. Your thoughts are precious materials, helping us build a truly meaningful library for the soul. And now, starting from the quote at the beginning, let's step into a journey that was anything but easy, where Elon Musk once fell, only to learn how to rise even stronger. Asterisk, he sat in a small meeting room, not even 30 years old, still fidgeting with a pen, a nervous habit. The first company he co-founded had just been valued at tens of millions of dollars, an unimaginable achievement for a South African immigrant. But instead of feeling victorious, he was about to sign a document that relinquished control of the very company he helped build. Back then, he thought simply, letting more experienced people lead would help the company grow faster. What he didn't realize was that experience often comes bundled with outdated thinking, and the price of giving up control too soon is being pushed aside from your own original vision. Elon Musk later admitted, "I think my biggest mistake is assuming that when I hand something over to smart people, they'll do the right thing. But no, you have to be involved, deeply involved." When Zip2 was sold to Compaq for nearly $300 million, he was just an outside observer. Even with millions in the bank, he felt poor. Poor because he no longer controlled the future of the product. Poor because he no longer had the right to say, "I'm the one leading this." That first mistake taught him something no business book ever says clearly. If you don't keep decision-making power, you're just an employee of your own dream. Years later, when he started X.com, which would eventually become PayPal, he promised himself he wouldn't make that mistake again. But history repeated itself, just more subtly. When investors lost faith in his direction, they quietly removed him as CEO. During a holiday flight, once again, he lost control. You could say Elon Musk is living proof that you can make billions and still fail if someone else is steering the ship. Later, with Tesla and SpaceX, he did something many called reckless. He maintained tight control, involving himself in everything from engineering and design to marketing and public messaging. People labeled him a control freak. But that very obsession protected his vision from being diluted. In an interview, he once joked, "I don't create companies to sell them. I create them to solve problems. And I'm the last one to leave the ship. The ship explodes. At least we'll know who was at the wheel." That resolve was likely born from past wounds, from watching his first company become something he no longer recognized. But from that scar, he learned a painful truth few are willing to accept. Not everyone deserves to lead your dream. Today, it's considered one of the most powerful figures on Earth, but few realize that this came not just from bold ideas, but from refusing to surrender a third time in Walter Isaacson's biography. Musk makes this clear. I don't believe in sharing control. Just because someone has an MBA, if you don't believe you understand the product better than anyone else, you shouldn't be the founder. That's not just a declaration, it's a scar he carries from Zip2, from PayPal, from trusting the wrong people. And maybe you've been there too, thinking an idea is enough and someone else will handle the rest. But Elon Musk paid the price to understand an idea doesn't protect itself. Only its creator, if strong enough, can protect the value it brings. His first mistake wasn't failure. It was believing someone else could love your dream as much as you do. This time, he wasn't pushed out of the game, but he made a different mistake, one that could be called going too far out of ambition. In Tesla's early days, Elon Musk became obsessed with a vision, a fully automated factory. In his mind, it was the future, no workers, no noise. Just sleek robots gliding in perfect harmony, assembling cars with the precision of a Swiss watch. He called it version 0.1 of the factory of the future. And he poured hundreds of millions of dollars into making it real. But then the system began to break. Robots failed. The process became desynchronized. The automation lines didn't increase productivity. They caused severe delays. Deliveries of the Tesla Model 3 were postponed. And investors began to question if he was destroying the very company he had built. Elon Musk later admitted Tesla went through production hell. And the biggest mistake was mine. I placed too much faith in automation. One of the strangest images from that time, Elon Musk sleeping under his desk at the factory. Not for show, but because he needed to be there the moment something stopped working. In a state-of-the-art facility, a man worth tens of billions curled up on a worn-out sofa. Holding a performance monitoring tablet, it became one of the most painful mistakes of his career. Believing technology could completely replace human beings. People often say, Elon Musk doesn't know how to stop. But at that moment, he did stop and admitted he was wrong. He dismantled many of the robots. He hired more workers. He restructured the process into a hybrid of man and machine. One newspaper mocked, "The man who wants to take humanity to Mars ... had to apologize for not hiring enough humans on Earth." He didn't argue. He laughed and said, "People often underestimate how complex reality is. Over-automation was a mistake. Humans are underrated." That was one of the rare times Elon Musk publicly acknowledged failure. And instead of weakening him, it made people trust him more. From that lesson, he realized that sometimes he himself was the obstacle when he refused to step back. The mistake isn't in trying something new. The mistake is not being flexible enough to fix it in time. In Walter Isaacson's biography, Elon Musk, there's a vivid moment Musk stands in the Fremont factory, dark circles under his eyes, shirt wrinkled, holding a tablet, adjusting the process step by step. A Tesla engineer said, "I've never seen a CEO willing to crawl into the grease like that. And I've never seen someone brave enough to dismantle their own dream just because it was hurting the company." Some point, everyone has an idea they believe is brilliant. But greatness isn't about defending it to the end. It's about being able to revise yourself before it's too late. Elon Musk once thought automation was the solution to everything. But reality slapped him hard. Success doesn't come from removing humans from the system. It comes from blending machine intelligence with human adaptability. And that lesson, he didn't find it in any scientific textbook. He found it in the tired eyes of engineers, in failed inspections, in rows of idle cars missing a final part. He didn't wait to be told. He was the first to stand up and say, "I was wrong." And maybe in a world where people often blame everything but themselves, that's exactly what sets him apart. Asterisk. After escaping production hell, many thought Elon Musk had learned enough. But one of his deepest and quietest mistakes came from the very habit he once took pride in: running too fast without stopping to examine the small scars. He once said, "When you're innovating, you'll make mistakes. The key is to recognize them quickly and keep improving." The problem is, some mistakes were so small, he didn't bother to look back. They were like tiny cracks on a windshield, barely noticeable until you're flying at 200 kilometers per hour. And then one day, the glass shatters. Everything falls apart. A perfect example, Tesla's battery packs. At first, Musk believed they could manufacture batteries in-house without deeply collaborating with external experts. Some engineers warned that if the cooling and thermal management system wasn't optimized, the packs would degrade quickly. He brushed it off, saying, "We'll deal with it when it becomes a real issue." And then, it became real. A few cars caught fire due to battery failures, but the stock dropped. The media swarmed, as if they'd been waiting for this. What did he learn from that? Not that batteries need cooling, but that you must not ignore the quiet voices. Those voices, even without flashy slides or charts, can hold the seeds of disaster or opportunity. He once shared, "The further you go, the more you need to listen to the people on the lowest floor. They see things you don't." Strangely enough, that failure didn't make him more cautious. It made him more attentive. He created an internal protocol called the Early Warning System, where any engineer, even a new hire, could report potential risks directly to him, from someone once seen as not listening. He became the kind of leader who created a special email inbox titled, "Send bugs only, no compliments." People joked, at Tesla, if you praise Elon Musk, your email goes to trash. But if you report a problem, he might call you at midnight. In Walter Isaacson's biography, Elon Musk, one chilling detail stands out. A maintenance worker once emailed that the heat sensor in a new model might be misaligned. 2 hours later, Musk showed up at the factory floor, found that exact worker and asked, "If you were me, how would you fix it?" That story never made it into motivational speeches, but it perfectly reflects a man who had learned to treat even the smallest cracks as if they were the last weakness left on his windshield. His greatest mistake wasn't failing, it was thinking. Small mistakes weren't dangerous enough. Reality taught him otherwise, and maybe you've been there too. Maybe you ignored a small sign, a warning from someone less experienced, a nudge from reality, or just a vague feeling that something's off. But you kept going until that small oversight became a catastrophe. Elon Musk isn't successful because he's perfect. He's successful because he lets every mistake, even the tiniest, become his fastest, deepest lesson. Failure is something no school will teach you. But if you learn to look directly at it, dissect it, and rebuild from its debris, you're already living a version of life very close to the world's most successful people. As he once said in a private talk, "You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you must be the one who listens the most, even when you're listening to your own mistakes."